Hey everybody, happy Sunday. All right, as Joe Bonamassa would say, mistakes are free. They don't cost you anything. How's everybody doing? Cheers! I have no coffee because I've been up way too early and finished the first coffee a long time ago. I got water. I need water. I need to hydrate myself. It was a sweaty gig last night. Cheers to water. Our lifeblood is it not? Hey, happy Sunday. Other than teaching, I haven't played a lot of classical in a while. That's all I'm gonna say. But that piece was off of this album. I've showed this album before. I believe, well, I don't believe. In my opinion, the greatest album cover of all time. I think it was amazing. I think it is. I think it is amazing. It is amazing. Just a Game by Triumph. Um, Back in the day, a marketing technique was, well, we never had, of course there's no internet, no nothing, so we had TV commercials, and you walked into your record store and was the first thing you saw that grabbed your attention, that this and this would grab your attention. That's why there's so many incredible album covers from the 70s and 80s, because that's, it grabbed your attention on the store, on the rack. Hey, what's that? Oh, Triumph. Who's this? Wow, let's buy this. And this was also, you could open it up and you have the full album cover in its glory. The boys from Triumph, the three of them right here, riding on their Triumph spaceship with feathery wings and that, flying over North America. And what I liked about it was, you got North America is well represented here on, and it's just a game, so it's like a game board, that kind of thing. Music industry is a game. Dice, blah blah blah. It's got Las Vegas represented there, L.A., the coast, mountains up here, New York City here. I don't know what else. Something out in the ocean, maybe the Statue of Liberty, and right above the Great Lakes, you see a skyline. And it's nondescript, but that's Toronto. That's Toronto up there. Let's take a good look at that. There it is, right there. Yeah. Anyways, I love this album cover. I love this album. I love this band. I love Rik Emmett of Triumph. It was his 71st birthday this week, and this is why we're talking about him. This guy right here, of course, playing one of my favorite pieces of wood that you'll see, the double neck guitar. And then another one that's one of my favorites is his famous Ackerman beautiful sunburst guitar, one of a kind. I like people who play one of a kind guitars. Now that's not one of a kind guitar. That's a production guitar made by the company Framus or Framus or whatever way you want to pronounce that. But he was the only guy who played that, and he had that one F hole, which I loved. And he was the only guy out there, other than, it is a signature model for John Ackerman from Hocus Pocus Focus, the guy from, John Ackerman. Anyways, that's his signature guitar. You don't see a lot of pictures of him playing that guitar. You see him playing a Les Paul a lot. Rik Emmett, of course, there's 10,000 pictures on the internet of him playing that guitar. And it's on the back of the first album. And I stared at that first album cover for ages, just looking at that guitar. And I know a person who watches this show, Scott, owns one of those guitars. Someday I'll meet Scott and not be a Facebook friend and play that guitar. I actually got a chance to play the actual Rick Emmett guitar. I think it was a spare. I think he had two or three. I don't think if it was the main one, I'm my head would be out of the clouds. But there was a story that I've told before on this show. Um, my hometown music store was a place called Music City in Mississauga on the lake shore. Don't look for it; it's not there anymore. And sadly, there's two other guitar stores that were amazing that are really not there anymore either. One's called LA Music. The Marionis family, love them. I known them from when the store was called La Scala on Lakeshore, a really small store. They had one Strat and they wouldn't sell it to me. I don't know. And then there's this place called the Guitar Shop by I think his name was Brent, who started that store from Musician Supply and anyways, if anyone out there is watching, they'll know what I'm talking about. Most people probably don't, but Music City was an amazing store. My guitar teacher at the time, we used to go to a store called Rutledge at Square One, and Danny Rose, my guitar teacher, said, "Why are you going to Rutledge? That's like the shopping mall store. Go to Music City." So went to Music City, and from there for the next 10 years, I lived at this place. And Rick Emmett, that was his store. That was his local store. So I saw the Dean come in. I saw the Dean V come in that was packaged up on the rack. They were unpackaging it. And one day I walked in and the Framus Ackerman was sitting on the wall, and I said, "Hey," I said to the guys who knew me really well because I was always there, can I try that thing? And he goes, "Oh, Ricky's guitar. Okay, here you go, man." And it was pretty thick strings. I was a young guy, pretty thick strings, and I couldn't get a sound out of it. And then I used for about 5 or 10 minutes of practice, I could eventually play it. But I'm thinking, God, I have to be a lot stronger guitar player to play what he can play on this thing, right? And um, uh, that I loved playing that guitar. It was like a moment in my life. And I still remember to this day. I was in the '80s. Got my Triumph shirt on. Anyways, yeah. In that store, we shared a guitar tech, Brian Mascarin, who did a lot of work for me. Did tons more work for Rick Emmett, but. And then John McNaught, a guy who worked there, great guitar player, played in a band called Zon, good friend. I went in there, talked about it. The reason why I have Rex amps all over my studio here. I don't know if the shot can get it, but there's two in my rack over here. Those were Rick Emmett's or amps for a while. You've seen those ads. And I guess I can put this down now. And I played Rex, and Rick played Rex, and some other people's played Rex. But a guy, John knew him really well, played in like jam bands with him here in Mississauga. And I've never been able to meet the guy. I've never met him. There's people who watch my show here who have played in bands with him and know him really well. I've never met Rick Emmett, and that's something that's okay. That's okay. It's all right. Maybe it'll happen someday. He's not out touring or playing anymore, but not seeking it out. I missed my opportunity. I was out of town to go to the Triumph, the big thing at Metalworks that's in the movie and all that. And, Jeff, Steve, Scott, all you guys went. I didn't go because I'm an idiot. Anyways, I missed that too. Missed another opportunity to meet Rick Emmett, but that's okay. Hey, how many times I walked in that store and Rick just left, man. He's just walked out, and I didn't see him on the street. No. Anyways, that's my Rick Emmett story. I'm sticking to it. I got to play his guitar. I got to play Fantasy Serenade, which is on this album, by the way. Again, I don't practice a lot, so you Rick Emmett fans who know that song is actually in drop D, and I didn't play it in drop D. Anyways, that's for you scientists out there that are forensic guitar guys that are deciphering all this stuff. I don't care, really. This is an amazing album. This has A Course Laid on the Line on it, arguably their biggest song. Hold On's on here, arguably maybe their biggest song. I don't know. And then of course there's every song on this album is just phenomenal. Moving On, Young Enough to Cry, bluesy song. American Girls, phenomenal. Um, and then the title track, Just a Game, is just an incredible song too. And of course they always give him Rick a solo spotlight. And for the first 4 or 5 albums, he had an acoustic, classical, whatever, fingerstyle spotlight, and it was Fantasy Serenade for this album, which I tried to play earlier. Um, and of course, a song called Suitcase Blues, which was basically a real departure because he was a jazzier guy, had a lot of jazz box guitars, and he played a lot of those too. But I love Rick Emmett. I think he messed me up. I told you many times on this show, he messed me up because he was playing all these different styles on these Triumph albums. He was playing, like I said, Suitcase Blues. He was playing a jazzier, big expensive chord song. All the classical stuff that he played, Moonchild off Blinding Lights show, all the incredible rock guitar playing he played, and then of course there's some bluesier stuff, Young Enough to Cry. So many different styles. So as me as a 12-year-old guy who's just still taking his first guitar lessons, I was like, I gotta play all these styles, so I better do all that stuff. So I studied hard and found out that his rock playing is what took him through and everything else. But and he didn't have to play everything. But he was of that Steve Howe, jack of all trades, best overall guitarist. Remember that thing on that best overall guitar in the Guitar Players Readers Poll, and Steve Howe won it for X amount of years, and Steve Morse won it for X amount of years, and jumped into the Gallery of Greats. You win it 5 or 6 times, and you go into the Gallery of Greats of the guitar gods. But and then I'm sure Rick was in the Readers Poll here and there. The first time Rick Emmett was on the cover of Guitar Player magazine, I think I ran to the store and bought that copy. Yeah, I knew it was coming out because they tell you what's coming up next month. I was waiting for it. But anyhow, that's my cheers to great Canadian artist Rick Emmett, whose birthday celebrated 71. I think he's kind of retired now. Love his playing, love the man. I think he's an amazing guitar player. He had the look, like he had the Golden God look, and I think a lot of guys up and coming. One big guy, I think his initials are EVH, who's no longer with us. I think they stole some stuff from this guy. The jumps, diving in the air, just the blonde hair flying and jumping around the stage. He was a pioneer at all that stuff, all that stage antics, and he doesn't get credit for that too much. But if you look at some pictures of him. And some of the old videos, the videos that were from this album, Just a Game, Lay It on the Line, Hold On, and a lot of other live stuff. I think he was an innovator of how to look and stand on stage, which we don't talk about much. That's a big thing. Joe Perry used to stand in front of his mirror and just, I think we all did it. We all did that kind of thing to see how do you stand on stage, how do you look. I think we're all still looking at pictures of ourselves like that. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am, and I'm the weird guy. But it's a cool thing playing guitar, and you got to look cool. Anyways, Rick Emmett looked very cool. I think those of you who went to the open house at the Fan Fest, so that's what it was called, Fan Fest. These jumpsuits were there, were they not? The white jumpsuit, and then there's a black one here, and then there was the red one that he wore in the Lay It on the Line video, and yeah, they're pretty funny. Flared legs, open chest, Paul Stanley, open chest, Anyhow, I've talked a lot about Rick Emmett. Thanks to everybody who came to see Jacob and I at King George, this is a great place. This is it's small, intimate. They don't care. We play whatever we want. We played some Triumph last night. We played Lay It on the Line twice because somebody asked for it in the third set. And I said, hey, we played it already. So we played it again. And then I think we just did our tribute to Rick Emmett. Great show, great fun. I have a very tired son that I've already driven to Aldershot because he has to work today. But yeah, he had to work early today too. But yeah, he's going to be a tired kid. And it was his first. I can speak today. It was his first official gig after you know, I don't know, we played about 100 gigs together. Um, First official gig legal, and I made this announcement at the bar, and everyone was kind of like, "Oh, okay." So he can actually shots. Everyone says shots. But yeah, he's 19. He's his first gig playing when he's 19. He was playing with me when he was 15 in bars, but we'll keep that a secret for all the bar owners out there that let us do that. Other than Jamie's Jamie Stevens, who gave him his first start in the bar, and he knew he was 15. Anyhow, pretty weird looking, eh? Yeah, I bought this to practice classical when the kids were babies, so I didn't keep them up. Anyhow, cool little guitar. This show is way too long today. Anyways, happy Sunday. Lots of stuff coming up for Avalon Music. Come out and get guitar lessons if you're in the area, because we're open all summer, all days. We usually close for a couple days and do a abbreviated summer schedule. We're doing our full schedule. Why not? We love it. Take it easy. Have a good one. See ya.